Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for your great support so far. I'm indeed very grateful. The British Broadcasting Corporation (BBC), in a recent investigation, has uncovered evidence of widespread abuse and torture by the founder of one of the world's biggest Christian evangelical churches. In the early hours of Monday, the 8th of January 2024, the BBC released the documentary about the experiences of numerous former members of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, including the 5 British ones, who accused the late Nigerian prophet Temitope Balogun Joshua, widely known as Prophet TB Joshua, of crimes including forced abortions, rape, and other sexual crimes. Nearly 2 decades have passed since the abuse claims at a private Lagos property began. The Synagogue Church of All Nations stated that earlier assertions were baseless but did not address the current accusations. Prophet TB Joshua passed away on the 5th of June 2021. As part of the investigation, the BBC interviewed at least 30 former members and workers of the Synagogue Church of All Nations. The 2½-hour documentary, divided into 3 parts, have been released. Watching a 2½-hour documentary may be cumbersome, considering our busy schedules. I have therefore taken out time to summarize the content of this 2½-hour documentary in this less than 10 minutes video, so stay tuned as we proceed. The 3-part documentary exposes the covert lifestyle of the late prophet and founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, detailing instances of abuse, harassment, rape, manipulation, and staged miracles. Sources informed the BBC that although the church was aware of all the allegations, they never investigated them. It is alleged that the sexual crimes spanned over 2 decades. Part of the documentary reviews how the church shielded its members from the truth about the collapse of one of the church's guest houses in 2014. A video repeatedly shown to the members on Emmanuel TV depicted a brief clip of the structure with what appeared to be an aircraft flying over it. If you have watched this video to this point and you've not subscribed, please kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel. Kindly also turn on the notification button so that when I post another video, you'll be the first to see it. Thank you. Synagogue Church of All Nations is situated in the Ikotu-Egbe area of Lagos and grew from a local evangelical church into a multi-million-dollar establishment with worshippers from around the world. After a 2-year investigation, the BBC came across several eyewitness stories of TB Joshua abusing or torturing individuals, including beating and chaining children. There were also a lot of ladies who said that TB Joshua had assaulted them. Some of them alleged they had been raped for years inside the property. One of the victims, Rai, was a British lady who was 21-year-old when she left Brighton University in 2002 to join the religion after being accepted. She was one of TB Joshua's alleged disciples for the following 12 years, living inside his convoluted concrete building in Lagos. Rai claimed that TB Joshua abused her sexually and kept her in a kind of solitary confinement for 2 years. She also said that she made many attempts at suicide inside the property because of the extreme mistreatment. Emmanuel, a former worker at the church, revealed to the BBC that the narrative about an aircraft was entirely fake. He asserted that the church building had a structural defect. Additionally, Rai corroborated this claim. She added that despite professional advice against it, TB Joshua insisted on raising the building, which had an inadequate foundation for its constructed floors. Following the tragedy, Synagogue Church of All Nations compensated victims' families with cash, which some interpreted as hush money. Sources revealed that TB Joshua instructed a church worker, part of the team distributing compensation in South Africa, to advise grieving families against speaking to the media. Allegedly, TB Joshua personally threatened families who refused the money. The building collapse is a prime example of life under TB Joshua. It's a series of cover-ups. This incident was so significant that it was nearly impossible for him to conceal, Rai said. The BBC investigation also discovered that individuals were dismembered under the rubble and deceased bodies were transported in the church's ambulance to shield the true extent of the disaster from the press, protecting both the church's image and that of TB Joshua. Survivors of TB Joshua's sexual exploitation recounted how they were manipulated and silenced, even when aware that the relationship they had with him was abusive. These women were part of TB Joshua's discipleship. Multiple women shared their experiences of being molested and raped by him. Some women who initially resisted his assault were threatened into submission, as revealed by one of the women in an interview with the BBC. According to all the women, TB Joshua justified his sexual assaults by claiming it was for their salvation. These women joined the synagogue church as teenagers and endured years of abuse before finally leaving. Abisola, a woman who spent 14 years in the church, disclosed that she was raped throughout her stay. Additionally, when these women became pregnant from the assaults, they were coerced into having abortions at a substandard clinic within the synagogue. One of the women recounted her experience. "We went into his room and I stood there. He said, "Off your clothes." So I removed my clothes. He just pointed, so I lay down, and then he raped me. He broke my virginity. I was screaming, and he was whispering into my ears that I should stop acting like a baby. I was 17-year-old at the time. I was underage. One survivor managed to escape and confronted TB Joshua, recording the encounter in videos shared with the BBC. In the video, a security officer was heard threatening to shoot the woman. Survivors detailed being targeted, beaten, and shot at by suspected thugs associated with the prophet. The BBC's documentary uncovered how the church orchestrated, managed, and exaggerated miracles showcased on television. Individuals were instructed to amplify their problems for healing, and likewise, their healing was exaggerated to appear perfected by God, according to a source from the miracle department interviewed by the BBC. Rai questioned, how is somebody like that permitted to walk free? You've got this man who positioned himself as a father to many children and went on to rape, abuse, and molest all these people who call him daddy. Another segment of the investigation delved into how TB Joshua mistreated and ostracized his daughter, born out of wedlock. Ajoke, now 28, revealed to the BBC how she confronted her father about sexual abuse allegations and was subsequently expelled from the church. She recounted experiencing isolation and indoctrination and admitted contemplating suicide. With millions of followers on social media and a Christian TV program named Emmanuel TV, the Synagogue Church of All Nations has a large global following. Tens of thousands of pilgrims from Europe, the Americas, Southeast Asia, and Africa visited the church in Nigeria in the 1990s and early 2000s in order to see TB Joshua perform healing miracles. Within his Lagos property, at least 150 guests lived with him as followers, sometimes for decades at a time. More than 25 former disciples shared compelling corroborated narratives with the BBC about their experiences inside the church, with the most recent events occurring in 2019. They talked to the BBC from the United Kingdom, Nigeria, United States, South Africa, Ghana, Namibia, and Germany. When they initially joined, many victims were in their teens. Namibian Jessica Kaimu said that her ordeal lasted for more than 5 years. She claims that TB Joshua first sexually assaulted her when she was 17-year-old, and that as a result of several rapes by TB Joshua, she had 5 forced abortions while she was there. She said to BBC, "These were backdoor type medical treatments that we were going through. It could have killed us." Others said they were constantly deprived of sleep and undressed and beaten with horsewhips. Another of TB Joshua's faithful disciple, Martin, previously shared her ordeal of living among 50 girls in a religious cult, emphasizing the leader's influence over their lives by dismissing their families and asserting himself as their sole father figure. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. I'm indeed very grateful. Please kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel. Kindly also turn on the notification button so that when I post a new video, you'll be the first to see it. You can also watch any of my other videos by clicking on any of the links on the screen. You can also share this video if you can. Until my next video, stay blessed.